Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. And in this video, I thought we'd take a look at all the weapons and gear we can earn during Iron Banner this week. There is a full set of armor for each of the 3 classes, plus an array of weapons. So for those of you guys wondering what's on the table this week, then look no further. If you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, but to begin with, as mentioned, Lord Saladin is located up here in the tower. And when you speak to him, he has the typical engram token system. You hand in your tokens, you get an engram, and then this is the stuff you can earn. As mentioned, full set of armor for each of the classes. We will take a look at these for Warlock and Titan in just a moment, plus some shaders and a selection of weapons, plus also your random extra items thrown into the mix to slow down your gear acquisition process. So if we start off with the weapons, first up we have the Wizened Rebuke, a fusion rifle. Now, rather annoyingly, these are not new weapon models. One of the things that was nice about Destiny 1 was that Iron Banner weapons looked really cool. They were unique in model and design. This time around, they've basically gone with the sort of, reskin aspect. They've got the Iron Banner color scheme. There is the sigil on the side, and of course there will be different perks, but fundamentally they are weapons we have seen before, which is a little disappointing. I can only hope that in future seasons, maybe they introduce additional models, but for the time being, this is what we have to work with. So, the Fusion Rifle, the Wizened Rebuke, has high impact frame, slow firing, high damage, weapons more accurate when stationary, and aiming down sights. You have a choice between the Clean Shot IS, the Red Dot 2 MOA, or the Red Dot Micro. You then have the option between Liquid Coils, so increased impact damage, slower charge time, or Enhanced Battery, which increases your magazine size. And then you have a backup plan, which grants reduced charge time and increased handling speed for a short time immediately after swapping to this weapon. Following on from there, you then have the Day's Fury, a grenade launcher, which comes with the precision frame, so fires slower grenade projectiles that bounce. You can hold R2 to fire and release to detonate. You then have the option between countermass, so greatly controls recoil, increases stability and handling speed. You have confined launch for an increased stability, increases blast radius, and decreases projectile speed. Or you have volatile launch for an increased blast radius, decreased handling speed, and decrease to projectile speed. You then have the option between mini frags, which increase your magazine size, increase your reload speed, and decreases the blast radius. Or you have spike grenades, where the grenades fired do increased damage on direct hits and it increases your stability. And then finally you have snapshot sights, so faster time to aim down sights. Interesting thing worth calling out, and actually happened in the process of me making this video, the loot does seem to rotate on the hour, so there was actually an auto rifle that was available, which I'll show you guys in a second anyway, but it does seem like there are some weapons in rotation here, so there is a little bit more than you can just see right now. But either way, top of that you have the Steady Hand hand cannon, clearly based on the better Devil's hand cannon. The intrinsic perk for this one is aggressive frame, high damage, high recoil. You have the True Sight HCS, the Hitmark HCS, or the Crossfire HCS. You also have the Flared Magwell, optimized for fast reloading, slightly increase your stability and increase your reload speed. Or you have Alloy Magazine, faster reloads when the magazine is empty, which is kind of handy given how slow hand cannons reload. And you also have Outlaw, so precision kills greatly decrease your reload time. You then have a pulse rifle, the Time Worn Spire, rapid fire frame for this one, so deeper ammo reserves, slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. Your sight options are the Hitmark IS, the Red Dot Micro, or the Rifle Scope SSF. You then have Tactical Mag, so slightly increased stability, increase your reload speed, and slightly increases magazine size. Or you have Accurized Rounds, where this weapon can fire longer distances, and this of course increases your range. And finally you have Zen Moment, causing damage with this weapon increases its stability. After that you then have a Scout Rifle, the Guiding Sight, so high impact frame, slow firing and high damage. The weapon is more accurate when stationary and aiming down sights. Your sight options for this one are the Clean Shot IS, the Red Dot 2 MOA, or the Rifle Scope ST. You then have a Tactical Mag for an increase to stability, an increase to reload speed, and an increase to your magazine size, or Armor Piercing Rounds, which cause extra damage to combatant shields, over-penetrate targets, and slightly increase your range. And then finally, you have Pulse Monitor, which auto-reloads part of the magazine when the wielder is critically wounded. On top of that, you have the Fool's Remedy sidearm, the Sura sidearm, same thing that was available as a reward from the Faction Rally, different perks, but same model and whatnot. So your intrinsic perk is Sura's Rapid Fire, full auto, deep ammo reserves, slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. You have the Control SAS sight, the Tactical SAS, or the Farpoint SAS. You then have the option between Ricochet Rounds, where rounds can bounce off hard surfaces, increase your stability and increase your range. And you have Accurized Rounds, where this increases your range and the weapon can fire longer distances. And finally, Moving Target increases movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights. Then as someone that is a fan of SMGs, you have the Hero's Burden. The intrinsic perk for this one, Adaptive Frame, a well-rounded grip, reliable and sturdy. Your sight options are the SLO 10 Post, the SPO-28 front, or the SPO-26 front. You then have the option between high caliber rounds, so shots from this weapon knock back targets and slightly increase your range, or drop mag, so magazine drops on reload, wasting ammunition but greatly increases your reload speed. And finally, threat detector, increases reload, stability and handling when enemies are in close proximity. Interesting, and as SMGs go, I quite like the Suros models, not necessarily the best ones out there, especially when you consider you have things like the Hacker SMG and the Mida Mini, but still something worth checking out. Lastly, seems to have come back in rotation whilst making this video, is the auto rifle, the Forward Path. This one here, the intrinsic perk is adaptive frame, well-rounded grip, reliable and sturdy. Your sight options are the Red Dot 2 MOA, the Red Dot Micro, and the Rifle Scope SSF. You also have armor piercing rounds, so again, rounds cause extra damage to combatants' shields and over-penetrate targets. Or you have extended mag, so the weapon has a greatly increased magazine size, but reloads much slower. And then finally, tap the trigger, grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull. So, those are the available weapons. As mentioned, some of them seem to flip around, so whether there are more will of course remain to be seen, but from what I've seen so far, that appears to be the lot. Then after that, just before we take a look at the gear, there are of course two shaders. There is the Iron Battalion shader, which is basically the default color scheme for Iron Banner, so putting it on the Iron Banner gear itself won't make much difference, but you can put it on other gear to kind of get that Iron Banner feel. And you also have the Iron Wolf, which is your secondary color option, slightly more sort of brown than green in this one, also looks pretty cool, so those are your two shaders available. So all that's left now is take a look at the armor. For the most part, I'm going to let this scroll through in the background. The Hunter helmet is incredibly cool. What I will say, and I'm super happy about, it's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. Up until now, a lot of the Hunter gear we get is typically mobility, because Hunters are the mobility class, Warlocks are the recovery class, and Titans are the resilience class. And for Faction Rally, we got mobility. For the raid gear, we got mobility. So it's finally nice to see something that is not a mobility set. Admittedly, I would have preferred recovery, but then I think everyone wants recovery, so it is what it is. Either way, the Iron Banner set is a resilient set for Hunters, so the helmet looks really, really cool. One of the coolest helmets in the game. I definitely need that, which probably means that I'm not going to get it through drops and be super unlucky, but it is what it is. So for the time being, I'm just going to leave you guys to watch the remaining sets of armor. I'm going to scroll through my Hunter, 269 Titan, and Sox's Warlock. Shout out to him. He leveled up a Warlock very quickly because he wanted the gear in time. So that's super handy. But for the time being, that's it from me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have got any gear or weapons so far. Let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know if you guys are going after any of the gear. All that good stuff. But until then, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.